These soft and fluffy blueberry muffins have all the flavour and half the calories, so stay tuned to find out what makes these muffins so low fat and so delicious. Hello memory makers, and welcome back to another Meals Make Memories. Now, my daughter and I made these blueberry muffins for Mother's Day, but we didn't get to upload it in time. So this is just a reminder to all of those fantastic, strong women who are out there raising strong kids. Well done, keep striving, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. So first up, we're going to prepare our dry ingredients. So add 2.5 cups of plain flour to a bowl, along with 1 tablespoon of baking powder, around half a teaspoon of salt. If you've got a grinder like I have, just a few sprinkles should be fine. Half a cup of sugar. Here I've used granulated sugar because that's what was in my cupboard, but any other type should work just as well, for example caster sugar. Give it a stir to combine everything and then leave it to one side. Next up are the wet ingredients. So we're going to start off with 2 eggs, lightly beaten, and we're going to add that to the bowl. Then we're going to be adding 2/3 of a cup of oil to this mixture. Now, when I'm using oil in cakes, I like to use vegetable oil, and I would recommend it because it doesn't have a strong flavour and allows the flavours in the other ingredients to really come through. And behold, the magic ingredient for these muffins, Greek yogurt. I'm using 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt here, but I suppose if you wanted to get a bit experimental, using a flavoured version could be quite interesting. And this is what makes these muffins really creamy but also really light. So you can forget about butter and sour cream, even though I have a fantastic recipe for that here. These are definitely a skinny and tasty option. Now this is optional, but I really love a hint of lemon in my muffins. So I'm adding the zest of half a lemon for extra flavour. And we can thin out the mixture a little bit by adding 1/4 cup of milk. Now if you don't like using cow's milk, you can use any lactose-free alternative. Because these muffins aren't particularly sweet, I really like to add a bit of maple syrup and around 2 cupfuls of vanilla extract, just for a little added sweetness. And once you've added all of those, you can just stir to combine. Now with the dry and wet ingredients ready, all that's left to do is combine the two. Now a quick tip when adding fruit, in this case blueberries, lightly coating them with flour will stop them sinking to the bottom of the batter and will help keep them equally distributed throughout the batter. So definitely make sure that you give them a good coating before you add them to your mixture. So make a little well in the middle of your flour and then add in your wet ingredients. Then you can proceed with a little spatula to just fold in the flour. Try not to mix everything up too much because that could activate the gluten and make things a bit sticky and a bit heavy. So you just want to keep combining, folding into the center until you can see that the flour is completely gone. As you can see, there's still a few lumps in mine, but that doesn't matter too much. When you think you've got it at the right consistency, you can add your blueberries in, and then I've also added a few chia seeds just for a bit of added protein. And then you continue that process, folding into the center until all of your blueberries are equally dispersed throughout your mixture. If you start to notice that your batter is a bit thick and you feel as if you need to thin it out, feel free to just add a little splash of milk. But the important thing is to have a consistency that would easily drop from a spoon, as you're about to see once I have used a little bit of butter to grease the pan. With this batter, I was just about able to make 12 muffins, and once your pan is full of the batter, you can just sprinkle on a little bit of sugar. As I said, I have a bit of a sweet tooth, so I tend to go overboard, but this is a completely optional step. After baking for around 20 minutes, or until you can see that yours are golden brown, you can use a skewer to poke and see that the inside is all cooked, and once it is, remove them from the heat and put them somewhere to cool. I forgot to say, I allowed these to cook at around 170 degrees centigrade, but I know that different ovens have different heat specifications, so make sure that your heat is right for your device. And once they're cooled, you can just see how easily they spring from the pan, fully intact. So definitely don't skimp with the butter when you are greasing your muffin trays, but they're fantastic. I had a really great time making these with my daughter for our mummy-daughter weekend baking sessions. They took around 30 minutes to make from start to finish, and they were really easy, really delicious. So give them a try, and let me know in the comments how your baking session turned out with whoever you decide to bake with. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and please join us for the next one. Thanks for watching.